Hello and welcome to this CNBC special. In our run-up to 1 year of GST, we have today with us Deputy CM of Bihar and a key man when it comes to the rollout of GST, when it comes to a lot of homework that was going on for years to have this one nation, one tax rolled out. Mr. Sushil Modi, welcome to CNBC TV 18, sir. When we talk of 1 year of GST, what do you think has been the biggest challenge for the government in this 1 year?
देखिए, जो सबसे बड़ा चैलेंज था जीएसटी को लागू करने में वो था कि इतने बड़े देश के अंदर जहाँ 29 स्टेट्स हैं, 5 यूनियन टेरिटरी एंड 1 सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट, so there are more than 36 jurisdictional entities, and to merge the entire country into one system, that is one of the biggest challenge, and that challenge which was not faced by any European country or any other country of this in this world. तो ये जो इतने डिफरेंट डाइवर्जेंट कई स्टेट में सीपीएम की गवर्नमेंट, कहीं पर आम आदमी पार्टी, कहीं पर टीएमसी, कहीं बीजेपी, कहीं कांग्रेस, टू कन्वर्ज द डिफरेंट व्यूज, टू कन्वर्ज द डिफरेंट स्टेट इंटरेस्ट इनटू वन सिस्टम, दैट इज द बिगेस्ट चैलेंज. और दूसरी सबसे बड़ी बात ये है कि लोगों को लगता था कि देयर विल बी अ बिग डिसरप्शन, देयर विल बी chaos, there will be a lot of protest against GST. In the last 1 year, we have overcome all the initial glitches, all the initial problems, the teething problems, and now there are no complaints, very few complaints. Now the system is working very well, the IT network is working very well, and people are also used to work with GST, work with the system. Now in the second year of GST, that is 18-19, stabilizing the revenue, because in the 17-18 also, and if you annualize the revenue of 9 months revenue into 12 months, it comes about 11 lakh, more than 11 lakh crore. And if you work out the CAGR, it is about around 14%. So it is a very good growth of 14% the first year. So in the 18-19, the biggest challenge is to stabilize this revenue. We are confident enough that after this implementation of EVA bill and the new return, which will be the biggest challenge for us to implement in the 18-19, the simplified return, a monthly return, a return in which only the sales will be uploaded, there will be no provisional credit. So it will take some 5-6 months for rolling out the new return. So after this new return and this EVA bill, I'm confident enough that after first 3 years, no states will come for compensation to the central government.
There are a lot of talks that cement and paint, the tax on cement and paint should be brought down. ATF and natural gas should get into the ambit of GST. What is your view?
See, everybody would like that the tax rate, the items in the 28% slab should come down. But it is for the GST Council to decide. My personal view, that we should not be in a hurry. We should first see what are the revenue implications and how much revenue we are getting in the 28% slab, and at least some of the items in 28% slab, which don't have a major revenue implications, they could be brought down to 18%. And some of the items even in 18%, we could bring it to we could bring it to 12%. For like sanitary napkins, we can think about it, but I don't know what are the revenue implications. So there are some items that is having a what you call perception. People feel that a 28% tax rate is there. So, but all these things has to be decided by the GST Council. But I don't think it will be. I don't know what is the agenda for the 21st meeting, because the agenda has not been circulated. But if the many items in 28% slabs, if they are being brought down to the 18%, we will also welcome, and I will always be in favor of completely abolishing this list of 28%.
What about, sir, ATF and natural gas? Do you think it is the right time to bring in ATF and natural gas in the ambit of GST, which could pave the way for getting petrol and diesel under GST?
See, regarding petrol and diesel, it will take a longer time because there is a huge revenue implication, because 40% of the revenue of the center and the states are coming from petroleum products, especially diesel and petrol. And another thing, only by bringing in 28% slab, I don't think it will impact the price of the petroleum products. Because it is a worldwide practice that over and above GST, the states are allowed to levy taxes, so to make it a revenue neutral rate. So even if the petroleum products are being brought into GST, the states will be allowed to levy taxes. But we can start from ATF, we can start from natural gas.
Do you think it is the right time in the next council meeting if this comes up on the agenda?
I don't think that everything can happen in next council meeting. But in this financial year, we can start thinking about bringing at least these two items in GST.
What do you think should be the best way to have the entire country compliant to this particular new tax regime?
Now, this enforcement is required, even though everything is computerized. But those dealers who are not filing the return, who are showing very less turnover, like this composition dealers, who are showing a turnover of less than 20 lakh for a financial year. So naturally, because so much of data is there, so data is being analyzed, and we have got a full information regarding the dealers. So enforcement is required, and enforcement will be required, but we will see that nothing should be done which terrorize the dealers.
So what about when we come to overall perspective of GST? You were chair of the Empowered Committee also. You were one of the main architects when the GST was being built before its rollout. One thing that you feel is still missing in the law, is still missing when it comes to the rules that can actually make the society much better when we talk of GST?
It is very difficult to answer this question. There may be many issues. See, but the GST Council is very proactive, very sensitive to the issues which have cropped up in the last 9-10 months. And as an issue has cropped up, immediately we have responded. So it is a very dynamic body. Regarding this advance ruling, earlier that was not an issue. But about 2 months back, when in different states, different rulings appeared in the newspaper that have taken a contradictory views on certain issues. So naturally, so if there is any issue, we'll take call on those issues.
So about 1,80,000 odd crore rupees is stuck under IGST. What do you think should be the best way to get rid of such a huge amount?
I would raise this issue in the GST Council meeting also. As in the last meeting, about 40,000 crore were given to the states and the center in the same way.
It was equally divided.
It should be equally divided. So another big chunk, 40 or 50,000 crore. And we should find out a way how to tackle this issue of IGST.
What do you think are the 3 key issues that government needs to be very careful about in the next 2 financial years? Because you said in the next, say about first 3 years of GST, states would not need compensation.
See, simplification, simplification, and simplification. So that is the key word for 18-19 in the coming days. So we should make it more and more simpler, more and more transparent, more and more user-friendly. So making it more and more simpler, because more than 80 lakh of the registered dealers, they are small people. They are who are paying very less, who does not pay much tax, but they are registered in the GST. So making it more and more simpler, either it is a return, either it is a ATV bill system. So simplification, 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 that is the key word for 18-19.
What do you think should be the area of concentration for the government and for the states as well when it comes to rates and commodities, because that pinches the consumer the most?
Ultimately, these 4 or 5 slabs should come down to 3 slabs, and merging 18% and 12% and a new slab of 15 or 16%. So that was the ideal condition. And very few items in the 28% slab. So I don't know how much time it will take to achieve that.
What do you think should be the healthy target to achieve this 3 slab structure?
No target can be fixed. It all depends upon the revenues. how the revenue stabilizes, how much buoyancy is there, it all depends on those things.
So you think the 3-slab structure should be the next target? How soon that can be achieved is a question in front of the council. But yes, a 3-slab structure should be the best way to start bringing down the slabs?
Naturally, but I said earlier also, it all depends on the buoyancy, it all depends on the revenue. So let the revenue stabilize. Let's see in the coming 5-6 months how we are growing in the revenue. Then we can take a call on these subjects.